Hey, welcome to another StoryTech video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about fit splitters and why they can be useful in specific cases over a normal splitter. I do want to mention, this is another episode of my box processing series, which I haven't forgotten about. I've just been trying to make these videos a lot better and easier to understand. So yeah, anyway, let's get into it. Before I continue, I do want to mention a lot of how I know fit splitters and unloaders and all that work is because of a single person in the Bedrock StoryTech Discord. I'm going to put their name on the screen because I can't pronounce that for the life of me. But yes, they've been making a lot of fit unloaders, so that's how I got a lot of my knowledge of it, and I've just adapted it for a fit splitter. With all that being said, let me show you. So I think it's important to understand what a splitter is and a fit unloader is. I'm going to show you a fit unloader. This was made by that person. So thanks to them, I'm going to just show you this. They have made a lot better unloaders than this one. It's just the one I had a structure of, so I decided to use this one for the demonstration. So in this box we have 64 sticks in the first item. Now that's because what fit stands for is first item type, and then the word after it is what it is. So a fit unloader is exactly that, it's a first item type unloader. So it will only unload those sticks in the first item slot there, and then it would unload all of the netherrack, all of the gunpowder, all of the nether wart, and so on. So if I put this in here, we can see that happening. We can see a clock starts to make sure the filter works correctly. We can see the items building up to 2 and then being taken out. Now, because these are used for unloading arrays mainly, it's going to send one of the items over here, which is the last item, and that would be sent back to a set, but that's really not important for what we're talking about right now, so I'm not going to go over it. As you can see, there's that one item. So it's unloaded all of those sticks, it's ejected the box, which would go back and loop back round into the input. And if you don't already know, because I did go over it in my last video on this series, but that was a while ago, so I'll go over it again. A splitter is almost the same thing, except it unloads the entire box, but produces boxes of the output of the single item. So if I was to throw this in, we can see that in action. Again, here's our clock that just starts. Now this uses dueling hoppers instead of a filter. So if I come around here, you can see it's doing the same thing with that first slot. It's just it uses water bottles instead of filter items, and that has a few advantages, but really nothing that I'm going to get into. Down here we are loading a new box with those items instead of putting them on a trapdoor. And as you can see, if I come around here, we have our 64 sticks in this one. And now we are unloading that box still, it's just this time we are unloading netherrack, and then it will produce a box of netherrack, and so on until the box is empty. So, as you can probably imagine, a fit splitter is just combining these two things together. Instead of continuing to unload the box after the first item type, we break the box. Now, unfortunately, and sort of fortunately, we can't just apply the logic on top of here, on top of a splitter like this. You could, but there's a few issues that come with it. So, I had to make an entirely new slice. Now, this is global clocked, and if you don't know what that means, over here, obviously, the slice has a clock inside of it, and same with that one. But this is really inefficient because we need multiple clocks instead of a single one, which actually improves performance and obviously the lag made by the system. And to make this even better, this is minimum hopper, so we have obviously the splitter hoppers here, the box input here, and obviously the actual input to the slice. But I do want to explain a little bit before I show how this works, so if you don't want to know all of that, skip to this time on the screen and you'll see it working. So, this one is where the mixed/empty boxes will be output. Because obviously if you input a box with only a single item type, you'll get an empty box out. Over here is your box input. This is your loaded box output. You have a box call built into the slice. And also we have any slice running and all slices running, which is how we control how this all works. So, with all that being said, if I was to show you how this all works, we first have to start our clock over here, which, as you notice, does very strange pulses. It keeps it on, but unlocks it for a single tick, which is what makes this all work. But anyway, if I throw this box in, you can see we start unloading. We do the same thing with this filter, with the clock. Now what you'll notice is the bottom hopper is unlocked when this one is locked, and when this one's locked, this one's unlocked. And that's how we just make sure only one item type is unloaded. So any second now it will break the box. It might take a minute actually, because there's 64 items in there. But there we go. And as you can see, it's only the sticks that got removed. And down here, we have our sticks as our output. So this is combining a splitter and a fit unloader in the same thing. So then, how is this useful for practical applications? Well, you'll notice we have a full array here, which took me a while to wire up, but I did it. You can see we have a clock up here that's just being constantly powered, which is what controls everything, like the hopper locking, because yes, this is fully hopper locked. We have a huge input buffer here, and we have the global clock nestled in just here. So, if I run over to the good old Hermitcraft item set, and I grab some boxes, and of course I come over here to the input. Now, I'm only going to throw 8 in just to prove it's working. We can see the clock has started. And any second now, we should get a box up here. It might take a minute to warm up. There we go. There's our box. We place it down. Just while that's happening, I'm going to clear my inventory so this is nice and simple to show. Now you can see we're doing 2. This is why doing arrays like this is so useful, because now we're unloading at 3 times hopper speed. Now we're doing 4, and so on until this whole thing fills up. There we go, this one's just finished. Let me close that. So, you can see I've picked up the box, and the first item in it is poppies. And we have 64 dandelions in there, which is not the first item in the box, so it unloaded all of it. Here you can see it still running. We are going to almost fill the entire array, actually, that's kind of cool. We have another box that's done. Here we go. So, this one had all of this nether wart and stuff in it. And we have all of those out. Now, as I said, this doesn't matter what fill level these boxes are. They could have 1 item. They could have a non-stackable. It could be an empty box that you input. Nothing will happen. So if we just let this run, a few of these are going to just take a minute, I think, because they're quite big boxes. But you can see that as it's running, any running line here is on. This one here. Which just permanently Well, not permanently, that's the actual thing. But what I'm trying to say is this is the any line running here, or the all line, I'm not quite sure. I think, yeah, no, this is the any line because you can see it's there. So what this does is it just keeps this off, which permanently powers this battery, just so that it will never try and unlock while there's items being unloaded. Here we go, we have another finished split. So this had a bunch of dyes in it, and we got only the green dye out. I don't think I need to show you this all working, but I will anyway. Well, a few of it anyway. I think some of those are full boxes, which is going to take just over 11 minutes to sort, but I'm not going to wait through that. So there's our split box, there's our normal box, that's the output. Now, how is this even practical to use? Well, in my opinion, there's a few ways. If you have, for example, a huge unloading array, and you also have a encoded bulk on your storage, then you want full boxes as your output. So, before you send them to the unloading array, you'd want to send them into a whitelister, which would say, hey, does this have a bulk item in it somewhere? If it does, send it over to the array, like the first item, sorry, if it has a bulk item. Send it over to this array, unload the item, send it to a temp storage. Citrus just made one actually, I'll throw that in the description. So you'd link this stream here into the input of that temp. And then you'd obviously send the full boxes to your bulk. And what you'd do with these boxes that comes out here is you'd send those to the array again. You'd send the output of the array, like the mixed boxes that would normally loop back around. You'd send them straight to that whitelister again and see if there's another bulk item. Now, this just saves a huge loading array. If you're to have like 96 items, you'd have 96 loaders, or have variable loaders, but that gets tricky. But this technically is the same thing, it's just a lot more clean in my opinion. Like, as I said, the uses for this are very limited, but I think some of these are like completely full boxes, so I'm just gonna leave them. There will be a world download of this in the HiveTech Discord, just minus those two, the Hermitcraft item set as well, just because those were for demonstration purposes. Yeah, we're not going to get a new output here, but you can see the system is completely staying unlocked and isn't doing anything. Now, this will be used in the HiveTech main storage. That's why we've built it, because our way of doing things is not usual, so we needed something like this. But anyway, that's how I'm going to leave it for now. The next episode of this will come whenever it comes. I'm not sure what it will be yet, but I'll see you next time. Bye bye.